This channel won't survive without your subscription and likes. Help me! A drunken tourist flicks his lighter and brings the flame dangerously close to the royal guard's helmet. The crowd freezes. But suddenly, the guard moves, a sharp step forward, a thunderous voice, rifle in hand, and for the tourist, the harshest consequence of his life is about to begin. London. Late evening near Buckingham Palace. A light fog clings to the pavement, curling around the black iron fences like an ominous harbinger of events to come. The cold air cuts through everything, but tourists, bundled in their warm jackets, are in no hurry to leave. They snap photos near the motionless guards, marveling at their stoicism and unwavering composure. Among the peaceful onlookers, one figure stands out. A man in a bright blue jacket, too bright, too loud. A crumpled baseball cap with an American flag is pulled low over his puffy eyes, casting a shadow over his drunken gaze. His dirty jeans and worn-out sneakers look as if he's been wandering the city for days, either lost or just losing himself. His face is flushed, either from the cold or the sheer amount of alcohol in his system. In his hand, he holds a plastic cup with the last remnants of whiskey. The cheap scent of cheap bourbon mingles with his heavy breath, thick with the stench of a hangover. This is Danny Blake, a regular guy from small-town America who decided London was nothing more than a massive stage for his drunken escapades. He came here on vacation, but instead of cultural landmarks, he's more interested in pubs and ways to impress random strangers. His walk is unsteady, his voice is hoarse, his grin is far too wide. Danny isn't just drunk, he's wasted. Staggering past the rows of motionless guards, he suddenly stops. A flicker of childish, idiotic mischief flashes in his bleary eyes. "Oh, would you look at that?" Right in front of him stands one of the Queen's guards, face to face with the silent giant. The guard is a tall, well-built young man, no older than 25. Pale skin, sharp cheekbones. His cold, distant gaze seems to stare into nothingness, as if the noisy tourists don't even exist. His perfectly tailored red uniform and massive bearskin hat make him seem almost statuesque. He doesn't move. He doesn't blink. He doesn't react. Danny snickers like an idiot. "You even alive, man?" A step closer. "Hey, Mr. Robot!" Another step. "Let's test it out." The crowd is starting to notice. A few people turn their heads, whispering, recording on their phones. But no one steps in just yet. The guard remains silent, like a statue, like a damn stone monolith. That irritates Danny. "What, too important to talk to me?" He squints, trying to get a better look at the soldier's face beneath that ridiculous fur hat. Nothing. Pure, unshakable indifference. That pisses him off. Danny hates being ignored, and that's when his drunken brain comes up with a brilliant idea. "Let's see what this thing is made of, buddy." He digs into his pocket, pulls out a lighter. The crowd freezes. One tourist starts frantically calling for security. Someone else nervously chuckles, assuming it's all part of some dumb act. But this isn't a joke. With a sloppy smirk, Danny flicks the lighter. A tiny yellow flame flickers to life between his fingers, and he brings it closer to the guard's hat. For a moment, silence. The crowd doesn't believe what they're seeing. Is he serious? The dark fur trembles from the heat. But before something irreversible happens, the guard moves. Guard. Click. A small flame flickers at the tip of Danny's lighter, its glow dancing across his drunken grin. The heat licks at the bearskin of the royal guard's hat, and then... "Stand down!" Like a lightning strike. A thunderous voice rips through the air, sending shudders through the crowd. The guard moves. A second ago, he was a statue. Now he steps forward, sharp, menacing, mechanical, like a war machine snapping to life. His rifle shifts with a heavy thud. not quite raised, but carrying an unmistakable message. "One more move, and you're dead, buddy." Danny stumbles. Oh, shit. The lighter slips from his fingers. Clink. The sound of it hitting the pavement shatters the silence. Danny's eyes widen. Shock. Panic. He never expected the guard to move. The crowd erupts. What the hell? Is this real? Did he just touch the guard? Holy shit! Phones shoot into the air. People hit record, capturing every second. Some are shouting, laughing, but most are simply in disbelief. And the chaos is just getting started. The guard strikes back. The next move is instant. The rifle shifts lower. The guard lunges forward, his movements precise, controlled, predatory, like he's cornering his prey. Danny stumbles back. His spine slams into the metal fence. "Hey man, chill out." His voice shakes, but there's still a trace of drunken bravado. The guard doesn't respond, just stares. Cold, unmoving, relentless. He's no longer just a ceremonial figure. He's a force of discipline, activated by the stupidity of an American tourist. Danny lets out a nervous chuckle. "Ha-ha, relax, dude. It was a joke." But the joke is over. Security arrives, the fun ends. Heavy footsteps. From behind the sea of tourists, two men emerge. Black suits, stone-cold faces, eyes like steel. Royal security. They move swiftly, like professionals who've dealt with countless idiots before Danny can even react. A grab, a yank. His wrists are locked in an iron grip. "Get your hands off me, you assholes!" Danny shouts, thrashing. "I'm an American. You can't treat me like this." But no one listens. The crowd isn't laughing anymore. They're watching, whispering, recording. Someone is already streaming live. Someone murmurs, "He's done for." Danny still doesn't get it, but he will. Cold, hard, wet, filthy London pavement. Danny is on his knees, his hands locked behind his back in tight handcuffs. His face is still plastered with drunken confusion, but fear is creeping into his dull, unfocused eyes. The alcohol is still there, but adrenaline is quickly being replaced with a sinking realization. This is real. The crowd is furious. People are yelling, recording, laughing at the stupidity of the American who had no idea what he just did. "That's an insult to the crown," a British man shouts. "Arrest him." "How dare he? This isn't a circus. This is the army." The voices blend into a rising storm, crushing Danny's temples like a vice. He shakes his head, trying to pull himself together. "Come on, guys. Seriously." He forces a chuckle, but his lips are trembling. "I just wanted to see if that thing would burn. It was all in good fun. In America, we love a good joke." Silence. Not a single officer even flinches. Standing before him is a massive man in a black suit. A bald, broad-shouldered black security officer with a stone-cold stare. He leans in, his face now alarmingly close. "You just attacked a royal guard." His voice is calm, flat, devoid of emotion. "Do you understand that you could go to prison?" The words hit like a gavel striking a judge's bench. Somewhere in the crowd, someone laughs. People are muttering, shouting about stupid Americans. But for Danny, everything feels like it's slowing down. Prison? His face drops. He opens his mouth, fumbling for an excuse, but his tongue is too thick, too slow. "Well, I didn't think it was..." Too late. From the corner of his eye, he sees police officers approaching. Two stone-faced white cops push through the crowd. Their expressions are empty, cold, completely void of sympathy. One of them crouches down in front of him, hands resting on his knees. He studies Danny's face for a moment. "You are under arrest for attempting to assault a military officer." Danny's head snaps up. "What?" You will be formally charged in court. Click. The officer tightens the handcuffs. Danny gasps. But I'm just a tourist. The officer doesn't blink. Now you're a criminal. And he pulls Danny to his feet. The crowd erupts in cheers. Danny doesn't resist. Only now does he fully grasp what just happened. This went way too far. A moment of shame. The next morning, every British newspaper headline is plastered with Danny's mugshot. A swollen face, a crumpled baseball cap, a blank stare filled with fear and regret. The photos are brutal. They captured the exact moment he was led away in cuffs, the crowd jeering, laughing, and him finally realizing just how badly he screwed up. Drunk American tries to set fire to Royal Guard's helmet. Foolish prank ends in arrest for tourist. Trial begins for American who insulted the British Army. The internet goes wild. Videos of his humiliation spread like wildfire. Millions of views in mere hours. On YouTube, TikTok, news broadcasts, everywhere. Watch this idiot test the patience of the British Guard. The ending? Pure embarrassment. America, come get your drunk moron. This is why some tourists should never leave their own country. The comments are ruthless. This dumb Yankee thought his joke was funny? Who's laughing now? Maybe before traveling, you should learn what qualifies as an insult in other cultures. Poor tourist. Now imagine if he had tried to burn a U.S. Marines uniform instead. A masterpiece, watching him go from a cocky drunk idiot to a pathetic criminal. Danny wakes up in a jail cell. His head is pounding. His stomach churns with hangover sickness. His mouth is dry as sandpaper. He doesn't recognize his surroundings at first. Then he sees the gray walls, the metal bars, the guards in uniform. Reality slams into him like a truck. Shit. He leans back, shuts his eyes, tries to erase the night from his memory. But he can't. This isn't a dream. This is real. And his trial is today. The harsh verdict. The courtroom is heavy with tension. Danny sits on the defendant's bench. He can feel the eyes on him, cold, judging, unforgiving. Before him sits the judge, an elderly British man with deep wrinkles and a stone-faced expression. Behind him, the crowd watches. Some whisper, some smirk. Journalists live stream the whole thing. The judge's voice cuts through the silence like a blade. Defendant Danny Blake, you are charged with attempted insult to the Royal Army and assault on an active duty soldier. Danny flinches. I was just... The judge ignores his attempt to speak. His tone is icy, merciless. The sentence, a fine of £5,000, immediate deportation, and a permanent ban from re-entering the United Kingdom. The room buzzes. Danny can't process the words. His mouth goes dry. His fingers dig into his scalp as he shakes his head. He looks at his lawyer, but the guy just shrugs. But it was just a joke. His voice comes out weak, hoarse, pathetic. But the joke is over. This is his new reality. It's over. He will never set foot in England again. The cameras capture the exact moment he realizes it. That picture goes viral. Drunk, cocky, smirking Danny. Before. Broken, disgraced, publicly humiliated Danny. After. It becomes a meme. When you think you can do whatever you want, but the UK humbles you. £5,000 for the prank of the century. Was it worth it? When your vacation turns into a nightmare. And just like that, his story ends. Brutal, permanent.